Released in 1929, Floyd found a rural economy that was falling apart.
7-cent cotton and a 40-cent meat. How in the world can a poor man eat? Flour up high and cotton down low. How in the world can we raise the dough? Clothes worn out.
Whole families had to work just to survive.
Back nearly broken and fingers all sore. Cotton gone down to rise no more.
It's a lot of work. You take your children to the field and have them on the sack with you, drag them on the sack and let them play up the middles, and they'd pick little piles of cotton and I'd pick it up when I got to it. But I was with my children all the time.
Those cotton sacks were vicious things. They would hold maybe 200 or 300 pounds of hand-picked cotton, and you'd pull it across on your shoulder, up and down the cotton row, stooping over all the time.
Once picked, cotton found few buyers. For corn and wheat, the situation was no better. Throughout the 1920s, farmers had expanded, going into debt to buy new machinery and land.
My father did a lot of puzzling about it because it was high, $400 an acre. But the bankers in the community said, "Oh, Herman, you better buy now because next year it'll be at least $100 higher."
By the 1930s, overproduction had created a crisis. Low prices did not even repay the cost of raising crops, let alone the interest farmers owed on borrowed money.
Within a year, the land prices in that community dropped severely. In fact, it would have been difficult, even if it had been possible to sell, to get anything more than $100 an acre for what we'd paid $400 an acre for just 12 months before that.
Then, in 1930, America's agricultural heartland was struck by drought.
Cool masses of air have not flown southward as usually to cool us, nor moist airs from the ocean to bring us rainfall.
See, we went there for months on end without rain, and in July of 1930, we had every day was 100 degrees or more.
Corn and the cotton and the garden stuff and everything just dried up, turned yellow and died.
The drought threatened to leave poor tenant farmers and sharecroppers without food or money to make it through the winter. In Washington, President Hoover turned to the nation's leading agency for disaster relief, the Red Cross.
Mr. President, it is a great honor and pleasure for me to ask you...
Mr. Hoover was sort of the spiritual godfather of the American Red Cross. Still is. And he believed that people ought to help each other. Those that had it should spread it around and shouldn't charge for it.
My grandmother and grandfather were Quakers, and it just was a normal thing to do good deeds, but you shouldn't call attention to it.
Dear Red Cross, my children need books and clothes so they can go to school. If my mules don't die this winter and I can get something for them to eat, I'm going to try to make a crop here next year. I don't want the Red Cross to give me nothing, but if you'll help me and give me time, I'll pay you for all that you do for me. Signed, A.C. Blount.
As aid ran out, people faced starvation.
I look back at myself now and am surprised at how little awareness there seemed to be in Washington of what was going on around the country. Opinion in the newspapers was pretty much Republican. And it was in the interest of the Republican owners of the newspapers to play down bad news about the state of the economy and play up good news, because bad news would suggest that there was something wrong with the Hoover administration.
The president insisted private charity could meet the crises. He denied anyone was starving because of the drought.